In the highlands of ancient Ethiopia, where mountains rise like fortress walls and clouds drift at the height of kings, there once stood a kingdom whose power stretched across seas, deserts, and centuries. A kingdom so influential that Rome wrote about it. Persia negotiated with it, and Arabian merchants feared its reach. Yet today, its story lies in silence. This was Aksum, the Empire of the Horn, a civilization built on stone obelisks that pierced the sky, on trade networks richer than gold, on a legacy of faith that would shape a continent. Long before medieval Europe rose from the ashes of Rome, long before the world imagined powerful African empires, Aksum ruled the Red Sea. Tonight, we open the files. Step inside. The past awaits. The story begins in a land of rugged hills, fertile valleys, and ancient memory, the Ethiopian and Eritrean highlands. Here, the earth itself feels old. Volcanic soil births harvests that sustained early kingdoms, while cliffs create natural fortresses. Long before Aksum emerged, this region was home to pre-Aksumite cultures, the Darmot Kingdom, South Arabian traders, and local peoples, whose identity blended African traditions with influences from across the Red Sea. Archaeologists uncover temples carved with inscriptions in Sabaean, Zeus, and local scripts, evidence of early cultural fusion. This hybrid world planted the seeds of something greater. By the 1st century CE, highland chiefs unified under a new power: Aksum. Its capital, also named Aksum, rose on a plateau surrounded by mountain ridges, a city protected by nature, yet open to the world through its proximity to the Red Sea. What made this empire possible was geography. Fertile highlands for agriculture. Control of caravan routes from the Nile. Access to the port of Agilis, Aksum's gateway to the world. In this mix of land, trade, and cultural exchange, a mighty kingdom was born. Aksum's rise is a story of wealth, unimaginable wealth. By the 2nd and 3rd centuries, Aksum controlled the Red Sea trade, a global highway long before the Suez Canal. Gold from the African interior. Ivory from savannas. Incense, myrrh, and aromatics prized by empires. Tortoise shell, rhino horn, obsidian. Textiles and spices from India. Silken goods from China. Manufactured goods from Rome and the Mediterranean. Agilis, Aksum's port, dazzled foreign visitors. The ancient text Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, a 1st century Greek navigator's log, describes it as a bustling center of the world, where merchants bowed to Aksumite authority. Aksum grew rich. But wealth was not its only strength. It minted its own gold coins, the first African empire outside of Egypt to do so. These coins bore the faces of kings, inscribed in Greek and later Zeus, and circulated across Arabia, India, and the Mediterranean. Wherever Aksumite coins traveled, so did its influence. Rome recognized Aksum as one of the 4 great powers of the world, alongside itself, Persia, and China. This was no small kingdom. It was a world empire. But nothing symbolizes Aksum's greatness like its monumental stelae, colossal stone obelisks carved with false doors, windows, and elaborate patterns. Some were as tall as skyscrapers. The largest, unfinished but still lying on the ground, would have stood over 30 meters tall and weighed more than 500 tons. How these giants were quarried, transported, and erected remains one of Africa's great engineering mysteries. The stelae marked elite burials, kings and nobles laid to rest in chambers beneath the earth. They were memorials, gateways, and cosmic beacons. Visitors from antiquity wrote in awe, "The Aksumites make wonders in stone." And they were right. These towers of carved granite stood unlike anything the ancient world had ever seen, neither Egyptian obelisks nor Mesopotamian ziggurats. They were uniquely Aksumite. But behind these monuments stood real kings, rulers who shaped history. Among Aksum's greatest rulers was Ezana, who reigned in the 4th century CE. He transformed the empire forever. Under the influence of Frumentius, a shipwrecked youth who became a royal tutor, Ezana converted to Christianity, making Aksum one of the earliest Christian states in the world, long before Europe's north embraced the faith. Ezana declared Christianity the official religion. He built churches. He marked coins with the cross. He forged alliances with Christian Egypt. His conversion created a cultural legacy that shaped Ethiopia for more than 1,600 years. Ezana was also a warrior king. He defeated the Noba and Kushites in Sudan, extended control along the Red Sea coast, strengthened Aksum's position as a superpower. His inscriptions, written in Zeus on stelae and stone tablets, offer a rare African voice from antiquity. Aksum's kings ruled not just land, but seas, cultures, and faith. One of the most dramatic episodes in Aksumite history unfolded across the Red Sea. In the 6th century CE, King Caleb launched a massive military campaign into Yemen, then ruled by a Jewish Himyarite king named Yusuf Azar, known as Du-Nuwas, who persecuted Christian communities. Aksum responded. Caleb's army sailed across the Red Sea, defeated Du-Nuwas, and installed a Christian ally on the throne of Himyar. For a brief moment, Aksum ruled territory in Arabia, a rare African empire projecting power across the ocean. Foreign empires took notice. Byzantium encouraged Aksumite dominance. Persia maneuvered to counter it. In the end, Persia's counterattack drove Aksum out of Arabia. Yet the campaign proved the empire's strength, a reminder that ancient Africa was far more connected to global politics than history books once acknowledged. What was daily life like in this empire? Archaeology reveals a world rich in culture. Massive multi-story stone houses with wooden beams, skilled pottery and intricate jewelry, trade guilds and artisan workshops, extensive farming supported by terracing and irrigation, banquets, rituals, and religious ceremonies. A written language, Zeus, still used in liturgy today. Aksum was not a lost wilderness, it was a civilization with literacy, architecture, engineering, and religion. Its people dressed in cotton garments, adorned themselves with gold and beads, and lived in cities filled with markets, gardens, and temples. Aksum was alive, vibrant, complex and organized. No empire lasts forever. By the 7th century, global shifts struck Aksum. Islamic expansion reshaped trade routes. The Red Sea fell under new influences. Aksum's access to commerce declined. Soil exhaustion and climate shifts reduced agricultural output. The empire's power faded. Kings retreated into the highlands, abandoning coastal ports. Aksum did not fall through conquest, it withered through isolation. By the 10th century, it had almost vanished. The once great stelae stood silent. Cities emptied. Trade ports collapsed. Aksum's voice faded from the world stage. But its legacy lived on. Though the political empire fell, its cultural heartbeat continued. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church preserved Aksum's traditions, writing, architecture, and sacred texts. Legends of the Solomonic dynasty claimed ties to Aksum's ancient kings. And the city of Aksum itself became a pilgrimage site, believed to house the Ark of the Covenant, kept in a chapel guarded by a single monk for life. Aksum shaped Ethiopian identity, faith, and culture for more than a millennium. Its obelisks still stand, silent guardians of time. And though the world once forgot Aksum's power, today, its story rises again. The Aksum Empire defies old perspectives. It was not primitive, not isolated, not marginal. It was a global power, trading with Rome, Persia, India, and Arabia. An empire of stone monuments, gold coins, and written chronicles. A kingdom that projected military might across seas, shaped African Christianity, and left a legacy etched in faith and stone. The world may have forgotten Aksum, but its mountains remember. Its stelae remember. Its churches remember. Its stories endure. This is the History Files in. Step inside. The past awaits.